Whoremongers are busy multiplying themselves with foolish women. Remember the 10 virgins. The Most High didn't make any mistakes. If the men of substance take on widows and homeless, this would work to correct our society. Sooner or later, the women folk will want this more than the men. Ask Isaiah.
Foolish women, worldly women, is what he's speaking about. And I don't disagree with that part right there. I can't tell you, I mean, what I would say is that, men are choosing certain women, particular women who probably aren't foolish. And in the Bible, it does state that, if a man is pleased to dwell with the woman that he's dwelling with currently, that they should dwell in peace, that, they don't necessarily have to be of the same faith, but that, that they are at peace with each other and at home. So there aren't always foolish women out here who are of the world or not of the faith or Moorish faith or belief or, Hebrew, who can submit, who can be able to do certain things. Now, how successful would you be in finding a woman in Western culture that's like that? Is the reason why we talk about, this is the reason why passport bros are so popular now, and we talk about them. We talk about what their life is like on a day-to-day basis and the type of women that they're dealing with. This is the reason why we reviewed the video earlier about South African women and the way that their mindset is and conduct themselves and behave. It's because, finding the best source of women, right? Women who are worth investing time and resources into is what we all, as men want. You know what I'm saying? We wanna find those type of women who we can be able to invest into. So I don't disagree with what he's saying, but I also want to, I guess, add a little more to it. Like, you know, not all women are of the same culture, faith, or belief. And back in the day, it used to be a thing where a woman, once she married the man, that she would convert over to his belief system, to his what he believed in. That's no longer the case anymore, which I think that's a big mistake as well. But yeah, so when he's talking about, of course, it correcting society right now, if the men of substance were marrying not only the widows but the homeless women as well, I believe this is the reason why poly or polygyny relationships were actually developed, to be sure that the woman was protected or had somebody to cover her at all times, right? So she wouldn't have to be out here selling herself, or not able to provide for herself, being homeless, things like that. That she would have a family she'd be able to marry into. Um, Whether that be the case or not, I still believe that, you know, yeah, whether they be homeless or widowed, if it's a woman who's a virgin woman marrying into a whole nother family, don't see any issues with that. You know what I'm saying? At all. We can take one situation of the 10 virgins and we can take that and we can apply it here, but it's just one situation scenario based on the circumstances of that time in that era, right? And, understanding the ins and outs of that, I would really have to go through the full story of the 10 versions that he's talking about, fine tooth comb it, and really get a good understanding in order to really speak about it in depth. But my thing is that whatever Yah permits, whatever, the Most High or whatever God you may follow, whatever He permits, whatever it is talked about in the scriptures, is what is permitted. I mean, you can't change that. He is Yahweh, the Elohim, and He does not change. It is what it is. He didn't specify whether it be virgin women that you marry and you have multiple women that are virgins that you're taking on. He didn't specify anything. You can go and you can take into the accounts of Paul, of him writing about what a bishop is. A bishop should be a man of at least one woman, or a man of one wife. He's not speaking about one wife total, like, and that's all you get. He's speaking about a man of at least one wife, so meaning he should be a family man. So that's my thing, right? Understanding the context of the scriptures, and and getting the context. What are they really talking about? Now, this is Paul. This is Paul writing about the bishop, but this is just like I said, it's just speaking about of at least that one, not hey one, and not multiply himself multiple wives, right? So that's the biggest thing is that we need to take away from it is that once you start to do scripture and you want to involve the Bible into this particular form of a style of relationship, then it's always going to be things where the Bible's not going to condone. It's not going to bash. It's not going to come down on men who desire to be married to multiple women at once. Now it does bash or come down on or make judgment on men who decide to be fornicators, right? Who have a woman and just wants to lay with multiple women, and that's all his intentions are, right? He doesn't have any intentions to commit anything from them, and that's sex. So why would they even be converted in any way or be able to start to believe in the Most High if you're treating them like that? If you're treating them like you just want sex from them, right? So um, that's the biggest thing here that we need to really take away is that if you're fornicating and if you're committing adultery, you know what I'm saying? And a man doesn't necessarily commit adultery unless he slept with somebody else's wife. So somebody else's woman, which they really is really popularizing in mainstream culture now for music, where they're talking about taking people's bitches and you know what I'm saying, and, talking about how they slept with this person's woman and all this other stuff. They really pushing that, right? Of course, that's adultery. You know what I mean? So that's something that is definitely the Bible speaks against clearly. But when it talks about a man who wants to take on multiple women, it doesn't specify whether these women should be only widowed or only, homeless or in a poverty type of situation to where it doesn't specify and give you say, hey, you can only have a widow or have a homeless woman, a woman who's in poverty, right? It didn't speak about any of those things. So we got to take those things into account and leave scripture out of it because scripture is never going to speak against polygyny. Scripture's not going to do it. Based on what he's saying, he's a Moorish guy. He does study. He understands a few things about the scriptures in his own way. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why he's speaking the way he's speaking. So yeah, so definitely want to address that. Like we need to, we need to have a more of an open mind when it comes to this whole thing, when it comes to poly relationships and finding a woman who's worthy of being taught the ways of Yah, right? And bringing them in and things like that as an option or a choice to convert, right? To convert. And if she doesn't want to convert, but she is submissive, submissive, obedient to the husband, and is doing the proper things as a wife and as a woman should do, being a great support system, taking care of the children if they have any together, or if she's brought some with her and he's taking on her children, she's doing a great job with the house and home and keeping everything, where it should be, taking care of that man real well. If she's on that type of time, but she's not of the faith, of course, and he's pleased to dwell with her, let them be at peace, right? It's not an unequally yoked type situation. At least that's not what the scripture talks about. But in his chase conversation, maybe she'll be won over. Through his chase conversation, the way that he loves Yah, maybe she'll start to want to take on that as well, love as well, just as much. So we don't want to destroy any home that is nicely built and is in proper order. Don't want to make a destruction of any home that's in proper order and well built. And the man's in charge, taking care of business, but he serves Yah. She serves Christianity. I don't know, whatever. Um, and but he's pleased. He's pleased to dwell with her because she's obedient. So let's go and go to this next one real quick.